Yeah, yeah. Making her way to the mic. They start dimming the lights. You start feeling alright. From Birmingham, home of the Teddy Longs and the Ruben Studders. More once you discover. For all of the lovers, Whitney Houston and Roman Reigns. For all of the lovers, and Mickey James and Marvin Gaye. For all of the lovers, and Sasha Banks, Janelle Monáe, Silk, Sonic, and Paige. Allow me to say, look, I just found a place, sweet escape for every one of us. I was kinda late, cause I just made it off the struggle bus. Walking by the faith, cause I know it's right in front of us. Yo, I ain't with the hate, gotta focus on what's great. Ladies and gentlemen, Steph Hardy is on the air. Had to drop a couple bars just to make you all aware. So, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. You know I go by Joe or the rest of the flow, yeah.
Hey y'all, welcome to a brand new episode of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast with your girls, Stephanie Hardy, and of course, Bianca Addison, the fabulous co-host. How are you, Bianca?
It's been a week.
Yeah.
And I'm alive, I'm blessed, I'm highly favored, and we made it to Friday Eve, and today we have a great, amazing show, a lot to discuss around the world of wrestling, and I'm excited to dive in to get the show on the road. How are you, Miss Host, Miss Founder?
I'm doing fine. I'll never get over you calling me Miss Founder because it just sounds so official and just sounds so good. But yeah, I'm doing okay. And there's just so much to cover and talk about in the world of professional wrestling. And even up until today, there was a lot of big news that hit the internet wrestling community that we are going to talk a little bit about. And it's just an amazing how even in the midst of certain pockets of positivity, there was always mostly something negative that has taken place in wrestling. And the first thing we're going to talk about, of course, this is our news and gossip-ish segment. Thank everyone for watching live. And of course, if you're going to watch this later, thank you for watching this later or listening to this later. But yeah, we're going to start with news and gossip-ish. And we have got to get into the drama, and I mean the big drama, that was Jade Cargill, the current WWE Women's Champion, and our Eradicator, our mommy, Rhea Bloody Ripley. So of course, if you may or may not know, depending on when you're listening to this or when you're catching up with your wrestling content, because I know everybody isn't able to watch everything live, Rhea Ripley has won the Women's Elimination Chamber match, which qualifies her for a guaranteed championship match against Jade Cargill at WrestleMania Vegas this year, which is a huge accomplishment for someone who is still very much as young as she is, accomplishing all the things and just wanting to be a dominant champion, right? Right, like she's in her late 20s, and it's just so crazy to think of her, of someone as young as she is, accomplishing as much as she has. And you can talk about until the cows come home all the discourse about how much you feel like she should or should not have and all of the above, but the fact remains is that Rhea Ripley is a star.
Yes.
And that's just the truth.
Amen.
So, and she has insane athletic ability. She's a beautiful woman. She represents a vast community of people, you know, who are different, who are gothic, who have that Amazonian build, who are just gorgeous. And yeah, she's just the main attraction at this point, male or female in WWE. So of course she has gone forth and won the Elimination Chamber match. So now she has a match against Jade Cargill over on SmackDown for the WWE Women's Championship. So in the midst of this, someone on Twitter, I don't know exactly the Twitter user's name, posted a picture of Rhea Ripley throughout the years at WrestleMania, all the WrestleManias that she has essentially been a part of. And Chelsea Green retweeted it and said, you know, that Rhea Ripley is proof that you can reach the top of the industry and still be a nice person. So she was just, you know, giving her a compliment, you know, being sweet, you know, and stuff like that, which is on brand for Chelsea Green, or at least for me, and how she's carried herself with me and with others. You know, she's a very nice person. And she's also a girl's girl.
Yeah.
So Jade Cargill,
Uh-oh.
being the ultimate bad girl that we know her to be, very confident, very brash to some people, retweets it and basically says that she feels like, you know, that Chelsea was just being fake, and, you know, and saying that, you know, Rhea really isn't all that she's cracked up to be, and it was just taken completely, you know, out of left field, and everyone decided to jump in and say, look, like, this isn't that. Jade, you're doing too much. Like, this isn't what this was. Even Piper Niven, who was a part of the Secret Harvest with Chelsea Green, chimed in and basically tried to defend Chelsea, defend Rhea, and all the things. But it low-key felt like Jade in the moment was just trying to, you know, generate heat online, and not be, you know, or not try to like dig at her for the sake of digging at her on a personal level. But everyone took it the way they did, and even Rhea posted a an Instagram story saying that her and Jay Cargill are not friends, and that this was not the right moment to try to break the fourth wall. And this left a lot of people speculating, will these two be able to work together? Which is a conversation that keeps coming up, whether it's WrestleMania season or just whenever two wrestlers get into it, whether it be online or even behind the scenes. And they're just like, oh my God, like, will they be able to work together? Will we see a shoot fight? Will they, you know, beat each other, you know, to death, and all of the above? And even Natalia chimed in, Natty chimed in on Busted Open Radio, saying that a lot of the time, you know, you might not like the person that you're working with, but you can still find a way to find that balance of still, you know, putting on a great match with them, regardless to how you personally feel about the person,
Yeah.
or the other athlete across from you. Because it's all about, you know, putting on a great show and also just making each other safe. And it's so interesting how this is happening almost a year removed from all the stuff that happened with Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. It draws a lot of those comparisons, and they have been discussing that online. When I saw all of this happening, I was low key just really sad, because I'm just like, why is there fighting? Because the person in me who isn't, you know, confrontational and tries not to fight a lot of the time, just doesn't like watching other people fight or disagree in such a way, because in my mind I'm just like, both of these women are so amazing, you
Yeah.
know, both of you are so amazing in your own unique ways. Why can't you love each other? But everybody isn't like that, and everybody isn't built that way, and I completely understand that everybody has different experiences. But for me, I'm just like, why can't y'all just love each other? It's a sister.
Are
But
people
you know,
saying, oh, it's a word?
it's, you know, and a lot of people are wondering whether or not it's a work. You have different sheets like PW Insider saying that it isn't. You have
Yeah.
Wrestling Observer Radio who are saying that it might be a work. There's a lot of different people chiming in saying different things, but the only people who truly know the truth are the women in this
Yeah.
picture. And we are definitely going to see how this rivalry is going to play out starting tomorrow on SmackDown.
Well,
So
what Jay did, I'm sorry, what Jay did, I don't know, it was kind of like a Gunther move. He would have done something like that and cause a lot of what's the right word?
drama.
Drama, discourse, commotion,
Anger, stoking the
anger.
fire.
Yeah, same with Becky Lynch. That's such a, I don't know, that's such a heel move to do.
Mm-hmm.
Just to get, because we're on the road to WrestleMania. The champ needs to do something to get trapped. No, I'm not shading Jade at all. This is
Not
like
at all.
not at all. That's something. I mean, I wouldn't want to say it's typical, but that's something wrestlers and heels do, especially especially when we're on road to something as huge as WrestleMania. Now, I'm excited to see how things turn out with both of them in terms of the fight, the promos, especially the promos. Maybe the all those iconic fights in the middle of the arena, all that. I'm looking forward to that. I can see it. I can see it. I like them. They both have. We've seen Rhea as a heel. We've seen Jade as a heel. So both of them, and they're both powerhouses. And then they both have great fighting techniques, great mic work, and great presence. So them two, I like that. I like that. Yeah, I'm very excited to see what turns out between them as we move along with this WrestleMania, with the road to WrestleMania. I'm excited.
I'm excited too because when we saw them on SmackDown backstage in that picture we just saw before Elimination Chamber, I was excited about the possibility of them fighting anyways, just on the sole purpose of them being who they are. They're both huge stars. They're both so gorgeous and muscular, and there was just a lot of big ego there between the both of them. And honestly, I was just really pumped to see it from a women's wrestling perspective. It's like you have two of the biggest women that you could ask for from a star power perspective going up against each other for the title. Like that just screams WrestleMania to me. So when Rhea won, I was excited because this is a match we haven't seen before. Two of these women are amazing. They're both amazing. They're both just so statuesque, and they just make you want to just stare at them all the time because they're so amazing. So I can't wait to see how this turns out. And the only thing that I hope is that down the road, peace can be found. But as this episode goes on, we continue to recap this week in wrestling, you're going to hear that peace might not always be the best option when it comes to certain things and people saying certain things. But either way, we're both excited for Rhea versus Jade at WrestleMania. It's going to be cool. And I just hope that everything is going to be okay. So
Bianca back and Drew Winter for Jade. But that's a prediction.
Okay. So, and we do wish Bianca the best because she has been sharing her rehab journey, and it's not been the easiest, but we do hope that she doesn't give up and just continues to work her way back to us because we miss her so much. So today, in wrestling news, we heard about a shakeup that happened in I know the writing is small, but we had a shakeup when it comes to the WWE writers room. It's so interesting. Offline, me and Bianca were talking about WWE Unreal and how it sort of gives you a behind the scenes look at what goes on with planning storylines and matches for different programming and stuff like that throughout the year. So it was reported by John Alba and so many other wrestling outlets that Alexandra Williams, who previously worked as a senior writer and producer for WWE, has now been promoted as of yesterday to vice president and lead writer for Monday Night Raw. She is a woman. And seeing this news made me so happy because, oh my God, a woman as the lead writer for Monday Night Raw, the flagship show. Like, that is just one of the most amazing pieces of news that you could hear during Women's History Month, but here as a whole. And I had seen her face a little bit, on the first season of Unreal, but she really didn't speak all that much. But they did show her sort of running about backstage as Raw was making the move to Netflix. So the idea that this has happened during this month and during a time in which fans online are pushing for more female representation behind the scenes, this was a breath of fresh air. This was really awesome to hear and to see. So I'm really wishing the best for Alexandra Williams, and I can't wait to see what she comes up with. And I hope a lot of it is very modern and not necessarily just contrived and very old school like we have seen in the past, because it's like I was talking about on Unreal. There's a lot of men, there's a majority of men in that room.
Mm-hmm.
and also a majority of white men in that room. And the world deserves, and I feel like wrestling deserves to reflect the various and diverse backgrounds that it actually holds.
Yes.
So the idea that we have a woman, working back there, and also there is a black man whose name escapes me right now, charged to my head, not to my heart, who does work for the writing team as well. So
Oh,
this is
wow.
really cool, and this also gives hope to those who might want to work for WWE, and write for them. It's so amazing what you can do, when you work hard and be yourself. So big ups to Alexandra Williams for that promotion.
Yeah,
Like, I'm so excited to see what stories we get out of this. So
me
Bianca,
too.
how does this make you feel?
This is the first time I'm hearing about this, and I'm very, very, very ecstatic, very elated. This is, like you said, this is progress from, because I've seen how it was back in the day when it was not fair to us women in terms of like both in the ring and behind the scenes. Woo! Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Ugh. And especially, like I said, during, like you said, and again, like you said, during Women's History Month of all months, we're moving forward slowly, but the job isn't done. We
Yeah.
still have so much work to do as a society, allowing more women know, like, if you don't like we should they should, and I this is a I again I am aware, like, this is like a men's world. Like, who says that women can't be in a man's world? We can do when you can, like, this is proof that women can do what men were um or I wouldn't want to say positioned, but uh built to do,
Mm-hmm.
in a way. I hope I'm making. I hope I'm. I hope. I hope I'm making sense.
No, you are making sense. Like, honestly, the way that I feel about it is that I feel like ultimately, as a feminist, I feel, and also as a womanist, because I am a black woman, I feel like women can do anything that men can do, if not better,
Yes.
because there's just no limits to our creativity. There's no limits to how we get stuff done, because where certain people have certain limits as to how they do things or how they were taught to do things, women are sort of designed and taught, even from a young age, to be more um flexible and more um agile is not the word I'm looking for, but we're sort of taught to wear different hats and be able to multitask and do different things at a time. And people underestimate that when it's
Yeah.
not in the home. But
Hmm.
when it's anywhere else, it can be just as potent and just as powerful. And we've proven that our voices and our athleticism and every piece of work that we put into things, whether it be twice as much or three times as much, depending on what your female journey is, we can prove that we can step up and even surpass men when it comes to anything that we do. And yeah, wrestling has been a very masculine thing for so very long,
Yeah.
but it's also been a very feminine thing for just as almost just as long as well, because you have the Mildred Burks and the Mae Youngs of the world, who struck out and wanted to wrestle when it was illegal in certain places for women to wrestle. And it's just so much more that's happening, not only from an athletic standpoint, but also from an intellectual standpoint. We're wanting to see more women interviewers. We're wanting to see more women writing and crafting the stories, as we're seeing in this situation here with Alexandra Williams. Um, and we're wanting to see more female producers of matches, like Molly Holly, like the Jazzes of the world, or like the Mickey James of the world, who want to work backstage and craft and tell stories in that way. So it is happening slowly, but it is happening surely. And it does give me hope
Yes.
that, somewhere down the line, it'll be more normalized to see women in places where men are. So it's cool. I really like this piece of news. It was really amazing to see, and a really good breath of fresh air.
This makes me think about AJ's stance to Stephanie McMahon with the give divas a chance. That give divas a chance hashtag. That was like the catalyst of where we are today, and because of that, we have this amazing news that a woman is the lead writer for the #1 most televised sports. What does Michael Cole say? Sports.
The #1 weekly television, the weekly television program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Along the lines of that.
He doesn't really say it much anymore because it's different, because it's, because it's Netflix. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I remember because at one point I actually I had it memorized. I think it was the #1 weekly episodic television show on the planet or something like that. Yeah, like I had it memorized at one point because Michael Cole is the king of doing stuff like that. Like I admire him so much. But yeah, like it's really great, and hopefully at some point, even on commentary, we'll see more women too. Hint, hint. We'll get into that later. But that's a little bit of news and gossipish that I did want to talk about because, of course, there is so much in wrestling that we do need to discuss this week. So we're going to get into what I and Bianca liked in wrestling this week. I know it says Steph. We're going to update it. Please stay tuned. We're going to get it updated. I promise. I promise. I'm not just here being a butthole. We're going to update it. So we have to get into Elimination Chamber.
Oh, honey.
Elimination Chamber was a ride and a half. So, of course, we're going to start with the women first. Rhea Ripley wound up winning the whole thing. In terms of predictions, I predicted she was my #1 prediction for having won the thing. If you want to go back and listen to that HWP extra episode where we did our predictions, I predicted that Rhea was going to win the whole thing. But I did want to give flowers to Bianca's prediction, who was Raquel Rodriguez. During her performance, I thought about you heavily, Bianca, because I was just like, you know what? She could win this thing. Bianca might be hitting on something here because she really did a good job in this match. She was the MVP here. She was picking people up, throwing them all over the place. She was even making jokes from her chamber, and she made a TikTok video about it. It was hilarious. Like, she really was like a funny and dominant star within this match. So, and she even was so cool that she even covered, like, I believe it was Kiana James and Asuka at the same time and eliminated them both. Like, that was pretty amazing stuff. So in my heart of hearts, if she had won this match, I would have loved it for you, Bianca, but I would have also loved it personally. But she did not win, but she did put forth a great effort. And I'm pretty sure this effort led to the opportunity that she got on Raw, which we are going to get into. But Bianca, how did you feel watching your pick go so ham in this match, even though she did not win?
I was so happy with the progress until she got eliminated. But Rhea is my second choice. So technically, I was like half right.
Yes. but I get it.
She put on, oh my gosh, I knew I expected nothing less from Raquel Rodriguez. She put on one hell of a show. My gosh, her presence. Oh my goodness. I see great things for her. I really do. I can't wait to see what's next for her. Definitely will. She has a championship in her future. She reminds me of Damian Priest in a way. I don't know. Just look at the way she's like. I don't know. Just the way she's standing and her presence. I don't know. Just I don't know. It reminds me of Damian Priest, and I like it.
Her and Damian Priest. I'm sorry, I can't talk. Her and Damian Priest, forgive me, would make a killer mixed tag team. They really would. I understand that Damian loves Rhea and their brother and sister as the Terror Twins, but I swear, if all three of them created a faction, that would be absolutely nuts. That would do numbers. So I definitely see the vision, Bianca. I see it.
Don't start with the vision now.
Look, we'll get there. But as we move forward, we also have to talk about and send our congratulations again, because I did this on the WoW show with Katrina. We must congratulate AJ Lee for winning the Women's Intercontinental Championship in her hometown by marriage
Yes.
of Chicago. She
Come on.
defeated Becky Lynch. And it looked bleak for a little while. I'm not gonna lie, because like I had mentioned in the prediction show, Becky is just so crafty and she just loves to cheat and just be so, you know, mean and just try to cheat. Like she tore off the turnbuckle cover and tried to cheat that way, even though it wound up biting her in the butt. She even kicked Jessica Carr in the face and knocked her out
Now
and
she
tried to
pissed me
be
off.
illegal. Like she tried so many ways to try to keep that IC title. Like I said, like she's just very cagey and desperate. But AJ Lee did a phenomenal job in that match and basically proved that just because you've been away doesn't mean that you haven't been polishing the muscles and polishing the gears. And she kicked ass in this match. And I was so happy that she won the women's IC title. A title, here again, that did not exist previously when she was there.
That's
So
amazing.
now she's basking in the afterglow of the house that she helped build when it comes to women's wrestling in WWE. So this is an amazing accomplishment for her. I was over the moon. I screamed out loud. I was just so
Yeah.
happy.
A
I was
tear,
so pumped.
a tear streamed down my eye. Oh my god, it was
Bianca, you
I smiled.
cried.
Yeah,
Oh,
I smiled the whole time. I was smiling. I was like, yes. Oh my god, I teared up. I was happy. I'm really happy. I knew she
yeah.
would win,
I'm.
but when it,
Mhm.
when the icing when the deal was sealed and she won, I was worried because Jessica Carr got me frustrated and she gave me anxiety. Oh my gosh, like with all the foolishness and all the antics that were
Yeah.
going on. My God, I got a
But
little
I don't feel like it was really all Jessica's fault. It was really
yeah.
Becky and her just trying to direct traffic around her chaos. So I really don't think it was Jessica's fault. But we do need to discuss Jessica Carr though. Because I also wanted to just share this because a lot of people online were sharing the pictures of AJ when she first won the Divas Championship, which
Her.
ironically was in Chicago. She won that title off of Caitlyn, who's
Yes.
known by her real name Celeste Bonin. The Chick Busters, that was an insane feud. But she won this title and it was so long ago, like close to maybe 14 years ago. And then now, of course, you fast forward here and now she has this title and it's so surreal. It's like being in Chicago and seeing her and CM Punk doing the thing in WWE just feels like a parallel universe you got to see rip off and start, and you're just sort of living in the afterglow of it, and it's just really really nuts. So
This just shows we have lived many lives
yes,
and we are like this feels like we're like in an like alternate universe. Like are we back in high school or something? Like all the people we watched when we were teenagers are back.
like, or in my case, back in college.
Oh, God.
My God. No, it's okay. No, it's okay. I embrace that. Like I was in college, like during the initial big run of AJ as a heel, and
Mhm.
her winning the Divas title. So I fully embrace the fact that, that I was deep in the fandom when all of this was going on. So it's really life changing. It's like level 1 of adulthood, and then you're in level 2 of adulthood, and these people are back. Like, oh my God. It's crazy, but we love it. So
Yeah.
big ups to AJ. You deserve the
Yay.
things.
This
And
can you go
I
back to
just
the
wanted
photo?
to share this picture right here because this suplex, actually no, this was like a submission of sorts, but it was absolutely nuts. And she was on her tippy toes in these Chuck Taylors. And when I tell you being on your tippy toes in Chuck Taylors is not easy,
It's not.
it's not. And she was in these boots that were so cute. I have a pair of Chuck boots, but these were super cute because they were pink and black. And I was just like, oh my God, AJ, slay me with your Converse fashion. Oh, oh, I love it. I love it. Oh, she was so great.
Yeah. Here you go, we have
But
two photos.
not right. Not well. Where
I
are we
just
going
wanted to
back?
say that the photo, this one, it's just too nostalgic and just brings back memories. That was all.
I know. Oh my god! And I had that T-shirt and lost it.
Oh,
Oh, the Love Bites era. Good God, what a time to be alive.
yeah.
So yeah, but we do have to discuss something that I am very curious about when it comes to suits and people in charge and officials of things. And
Mm.
the first part of it comes with Becky and Jessica Carr. Um, Becky, now that she has lost the women's intercontinental title, there is just so much that was happening within this match that wasn't even all of her aggression was going towards AJ, but a good portion of her aggression was also coming at Jessica Carr.
Yeah.
And storyline wise, Jessica has been the referee for most of Becky's matches during her women's IC title run. And Becky has been outwardly accusing Jessica of being a crooked referee, being against her, counting her out, and just essentially just keeping her down or keeping the man down of sorts. And it got so bad that even in this match at Elimination Chamber, she accidentally kicked her in the back of her head and knocked her out for a while and just hunched her shoulders afterward as if to say, I really don't care that I knocked you out, so now I can do what I want. So knowing Jessica's past, because she used to be a wrestler before she signed on as a referee in the Mae Young Classic, because that was where she made her debut in the very first Mae Young Classic.
Is that right?
Yeah, you should, Bianca. If I'm going to recommend any viewing for you, you need to watch the Mae Young Classics.
Okay, I remember.
There were two of them.
Yeah,
you got to watch them.
I remember watching. I just didn't. I paid attention to those who I know, but like
Yes.
those who I didn't know, she definitely like slipped my mind.
Oh yeah, like she was.
Wow.
Yeah, she was a referee in that, and she has a past, when it comes to her wrestling career. And it's just that with the way that Becky keeps picking at her, it just makes me wonder, are we going to see Jessica Carr take off and trade her referee stripes for, wrestling gear? Are we going to see Jessica Carr versus Becky Lynch at WrestleMania?
I would love that. Oh my God.
Like, I would love to see it. Because she just keeps picking at her. She keeps questioning her integrity as a referee and keeps picking on her and hitting her and all of these things, and and trying to destroy her reputation on social media. It's just something that just makes me wonder, like, are we going to see these two women fight? And if we are, how soon can we make it happen?
I don't see why this wouldn't happen anytime soon. I definitely see it. Oh my gosh. How violent, or not how violent, how is Jessica Carr's, well, before I watched the Mae Young Classic, how is her fighting style?
Well, she didn't fight in the Mae Young Classic. She was a referee in the Mae Young Classic.
She was a referee. Okay.
But before she started with WWE as a referee, she had a wrestling career.
Good. Yeah. Okay.
So it wasn't, so she wasn't wrestling in the Mae Young Classic.
Okay.
But, it's just the principle of having that in the back of your mind, and wondering if she would pull that out in order to teach Becky a lesson.
I would love that. Oh my gosh. Like a Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
I would love that very much.
Yeah, it would be killer. So we are definitely supporters of Jessica Carr here on HWP. So if she wants to fight Becky, we will root for it to happen.
Yes.
So yeah, Becky no longer the women's IC champion. So yeah. And it's not just us saying it. Other people are saying it. The Bleacher Report said it. Sports Illustrated said it. Oh my God, everywhere is saying it. HWP said it. We're saying it. You're no longer the women's intercontinental champion, ma'am. So yeah.
Watch her retweet this and like give me like an all caps, like
if that happens, I will cry tears of joy. I will cry tears of joy if that were to happen because because even though she's not like, even though I love the four horsewomen down,
Me too.
like I love them all, but and I know Mercedes is my absolute favorite out of all four of them, but I do have a soft spot in my heart for Becky always. So if she did that, I would be over the moon.
Becky, come on, we met and we
I
love you here, so come
It
on.
would be iconic. It would be so iconic. And I feel like, look, it would be, I wouldn't stop talking about it. It would be so great. So, yeah. And moving on and talking about the men of Elimination Chamber, we saw the debut, the WWE debut of Danhausen. Very evil. Very, very evil, very cool, debut. Um, we saw the crate, they opened the crate, and out of the wooden casket came a lot of funny, cute dancers. It looked like they could have fit in on Beetlejuice. Rest in peace to Catherine O'Hara. Oh my God, like they really just came out of there and started dancing, and boom, it was Danhausen. And online, there were a lot of people who were upset that
Yeah.
they were angry that it was Danhausen. They were like, oh my God, why wouldn't it be, this and such person? Or, this is a waste of time and this wasn't worth all of this. But here's the thing. In AEW, Danhausen, in the beginning of his AEW career, he was a very comedic character. He would always go around cursing people like he did on Monday, which we will get to. And he was just really hilarious with all of his antics backstage, even though as far as I know, like he would wrestle matches, but it wouldn't be like anything like too serious. But it would still be, very substantial work, and he was just very funny. And with him cursing people with that kookiness, I think there is definitely a place in WWE for it, because for God's sakes, we still have R-Truth.
Yeah.
We have Joe Hendry. Like we have, the El Grande Americanos, running around, being all kinds of ridiculous and goofy. I mean, oh my God, like get a grip. It's okay to have more silliness in wrestling, honestly. And quite frankly, I'm happy that Danhausen is in WWE, because he's just funny. And I'm a goofball. Like if you know me personally, you know that I am an absolute goofball and I love to laugh at things and crack up at things and make jokes. So I'm happy Danhausen is here. His t-shirt on WWE Shop actually shot up to #1.
Oh,
Since he made his debut. So I feel like this was a great move for him. He's gonna get the bag and be silly. He gave Michael Cole a jar of teeth. So, it's very creepy, it's very macabre, but it's also very silly. And I'm here for it. So let's just not take everything so seriously when it comes to wrestling. I feel like there should be room for fun.
I agree.
So
I didn't know who he was, and I mean, actually, I the only way I know, the only reason why I know who he is because I follow CM Punk and I see
mhm.
them together all the time. But I did not know he was on the AEW. This isn't the. How long was he there?
Oh my God. Oh, he was there for a while. Like, I don't know the amount of years right now, but he was on there for a long while. Not from like the very beginning, but he was there. He was there long enough for you to think that to basically make it seem like he wasn't a pillar of AEW, but he really could have been, I feel.
Okay.
And I feel like in the later years, there wasn't a lot of emphasis placed on him anymore. I don't know what the situation was with that, and I don't want to, step on any toes with that. But for a while, you really wouldn't see him that much. So when the rumors were running around that he could possibly come to WWE, I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Did you
So
see that?
yeah. So here we are,
Yeah.
and he's here, and it's gonna be goofy and it's gonna be fun. But I really feel like us wrestling fans, especially with the world that we're living in now, we need more laughter.
When all this happened, I got very confused, and then all of that commotion happened, and I was still confused, but then I loved it, and then I saw um um at Queen of the Ring, her reaction, and she said how campy it is. That made me
Yeah.
enjoy it because I love camp. I love the stupid. I love the ridiculousness. I love the ridiculous. I love the dumb humor. I love the unseriousness of it all. And he, I'm excited. I saw videos of him giving CM Punk shirts with him and AJ and Bret Hart. And
Mhm.
he's really stupid, but like really funny. And like I I love I the stupid humor is my favorite humor. So yeah.
Exactly. And yeah, it definitely has a place there. And also shout out to Queen of the Ring, Alex. I have had her on my show before. And
Oh,
she and I, are pretty good friends in the wrestling space. So I'm really glad her reactions are top tier. So I really love that you watched her and her reactions because
oh
she's
yeah.
awesome. She's a
She's
great
great.
person.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it is very campy. Danhausen is very campy. And I feel like if you can't be campy in wrestling, then where in the hell else can you be
Yeah.
campy?
Exactly.
Can I get an amen?
Hey. But
Oh gosh, that was just a RuPaul. I couldn't control it.
yes, thank you
I
very much.
couldn't control it. Okay, it just comes out of me. Like I loved it.
If
I
you
love
can't love
drag.
yourself, how in the hell are you gonna love somebody? Hell.
Exactly. And speaking of
Mhm.
loving yourself and loving where you're from and loving your background, let's get
Dude.
into CM Punk,
Oh my
okay?
god.
With this homecoming, oh my God. So I have to tell you my journey with his entrance, okay?
Okay.
So I was watching it with my dad. Shout out to Daw.
Oh.
I was watching Elimination Chamber. And so Finn makes his entrance. Finn Balor makes his entrance. And then the arena gets dark.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of a sudden, all you hear is the music start that CM Punk started with, because it didn't start with Cult of Personality.
No.
It started with the Chicago Bulls theme of the 90s. And all you hear is do 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 do. I popped so hard because I grew up during that era. My daddy had the Michael Jordan jersey of the Chicago Bulls. I am in love with Space Jam. That is one of my favorite childhood films. And of course, that was during the heyday of Michael Jordan's stardom with the Chicago Bulls. So, and then hearing that music, it just took me back to the time I watched the Last Dance documentary.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, because during the pandemic, of course, there weren't any sports going on.
Yeah.
So any documentary about sports, ESPN was putting it out, on an episodic basis to give
Yeah.
us people something to watch. And of course, if you weren't, of a sound mind back then in the 90s, you didn't know all of what was going on.
Right.
So I watched every episode of the Last Dance documentary and
Yeah.
I loved it. It's probably
Mm-hmm.
one of the best sports documentaries that's ever been made.
Agreed.
I will die on that hill. And, and it was just really great to see, all of which Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls had to fight through. And even seeing people who are relevant to basketball today. I did not know that Steve Kerr, who is
Yeah.
the coach of the Golden State Warriors, was a part of that team. I had
Yeah.
no clue
Same.
because growing up, all you heard was the MJs, the Scottie
Mm-hmm.
Pippens, and the Dennis Rodmans of it all, and his wrestling lore, which they did discuss on the documentary too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so taking all of that knowledge and applying it to this situation with CM Punk and his entrance with Chicago, with Ray Clay, the announcer who would introduce the Chicago Bulls players back then with the song. It was Chicago sports lore and it was amazing. And I'm not even from Chicago, but it was so
Same.
amazing.
That's what
I was
I
like,
said.
excuse me, I'm not even from here, but I love it. Like, I am from Birmingham, I'm from the South,
I'm
but
from Los
baby, the way that entrance hit, I swear to God, it was so amazing. And then you had Punk come out with his
Mhm.
trunks, which was made for the Chicago Blackhearts, because that's his hockey team. And then he had his jacket that said Larry Forever, and I was like, oh. So it was very Chicago, made Punk, and it was just so beautiful. It was one of the most cinematic entrances I'd ever seen, and then it goes into Cult of Personality, and he makes his entrance, and everybody in Chicago was crunk, but water is wet, and it was just amazing. And the match was really great too. As
Mm-hmm.
sad as I was that Finn Balor lost, because I didn't want him to lose, I really didn't. I'm sorry. I just said all that nice stuff about CM Punk, and I love CM Punk now, but I wanted Finn Balor to win because I just didn't want to see him lose another opportunity at the championship. I just did it, but it's okay because we have Punk and he won, and now we're going towards Raw and all the craziness. But either way, this was an amazing moment. I have watched this entrance back so many times. Because it's like my sports. I love it when sports and wrestling marry and become a thing. And
Yeah.
as a person who had just gotten back fully into sports over these last few years and seeing it show up in wrestling, it just feels like a double hug.
Yeah.
So I love it. I loved it so much. It was so beautiful. And I'm not even from Chicago,
Dang, that's what I
but
said. Oh my god. Okay. So I was standing the whole time. When the whole entrance, I cried the whole time.
oh, you're so passionate. I love
Like uh, there's like there's like a typical entrance, yeah, but there's like a CM Punk homecoming entrance. Like
it. Mm-hmm.
of all, there was I have there was no dry eye from all the CM Punk homecomings, from the return to all of it in the last few years. All the returns, I cried, and I just remember just hearing. I just remember when he came back, and then like everyone was shouting "CM Punk, CM Punk" while he was on his knees, just looking around. I don't know, this is just something so special about it. I don't know, just the hero is back, and it's just very beautiful and amazing and powerful. Then every time I watch it, I cry every time. And again, I'm not even
Yeah.
from Chicago. It's just very
Right.
powerful. And just he's a person who came from a small town, and I know what it's like to come from a small town with nothing, and to be an outsider and a so-called loser, someone who doesn't fit in. He represents us, and that's why I hold him so close to my heart. And just in, it was just I was my I that whole I haven't watched it back. I'm still recovering.
That's all right. That
It
is
was just
all right. Do you understand? Yes.
I don't call him my hero for nothing. And my loyalties are with him forever and ever. No matter how low he can go. We'll talk about that.
Oh, Bianca. Oh, Bianca. It's so
Oh, that meant so
wonderful.
much. Oh my
I
god.
Yes, I appreciate and I love your passion. And I just love how much you love him. Like, and I understand that because it's just like he represents so much. And I love how you mentioned his AEW return, right?
Yeah.
Because that's a part of his lore. And you crying right now reminds me of the guy who was crying in the audience when he came back. And it was
Yes.
that serious. Like a lot of people will look at that and be like, "Oh my god, is it that serious?" Yes, it's that serious
Yeah.
because there was a point. Like CM Punk was a lot of people's like go-to and favorite for so many different reasons during his initial run. And
Yeah.
so when he left, just like when any person's favorite wrestler leaves a place or leaves their profession, it makes you sad and it leaves you with like a hole in your heart a little. So when you see them make that return, you know, it does something to you. It fills something, it fills that void that was there.
Yeah.
And when he made that AEW return, I couldn't believe it. I was in deep shock. I was like, oh my God. Like, and it was the worst kept secret in wrestling because everybody online was like, CM Punk is going to come back. He's going to come back to AEW, blah, 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 blah. And then when he actually did, I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
You know? So it was, and what's so beautiful is I feel like only CM Punk can have can have 3 comebacks. Not even a comeback, because of course this was a homecoming for a match, of course.
Yeah.
But only CM Punk can come back multiple times to Chicago and still elicit that type of response and that type of emotion that you had. Because for him to come back at AEW at the United Center and, you know, make people feel how they felt, and then come back
At
at
the
the
same place
Allstate
where he
Arena.
returned.
No, and
So,
then come back at the Allstate Arena, you know, at Survivor Series where I was blessed to be at. And then for him to come back to the United Center again and
where
do the
he,
Chicago Bulls thing,
yes.
like, oh, CM Punk is a special person. He's a special soul who was made specifically for this moment and made specifically for wrestling. And he just has the juice. And I know he uses that word a lot, but that's he just has the juice, and he just has it in a way that is uniquely and only his. And
yeah.
he just has it. He's just 100% authentic. He's himself, and he's just a special human being.
I see no racist bone in his body, not one.
Exactly. Like, and he's a kind soul, even though deep down, and even though, of course, you know, from the outside, he might appear to be, you know, a hard, you know, person, because you see this man with all these tattoos with his gray hair. He looks very very rugged, you know, but he's the best. He's the best person. And I feel like, yeah. God was showing off when he made him, I swear. He was showing off when he made a lot of people, but he showed off when he made Punk, honey.
He walked past me the first day, the day I met AJ for the first time. Like, he literally walked past me. I was at the back of the comic book store, and one of the workers said, "Excuse me." So I turn around and I see this cart with flowers. I was like, what is going on? And then I look up, and then I go like, because it was CM Punk walking with Larry in the cart with flowers he gave to his wife and her partner that day. So I was at the right place at the right time. But I'm the universe, you know, do your job. I've been a good girl. I deserve it too. Just make it happen already. Embrace it. I've been good. Did you freeze? She froze.
No, I didn't freeze. I was listening to you, and I was letting you tell your story. I didn't freeze. I'm fine. I'm just listening. I'm sorry. And I was scratching my foot too, so I was like, but yeah, I was distracted. But yes, it's just I'm sure you'll meet him at some point. It has to happen. But yeah, CM Punk had that special moment. He retained the World Heavyweight Championship, and not only, you know, did he retain the title, he got to celebrate with AJ afterward, with both of them holding their titles in the air. Which, here again, as we're speaking about things that happened in the past, you know, it seems like, you know, only years ago, where they were just alluding to dating each other, you know, and not really outright saying it, even though, you know, everybody online kind of just speculated and kind of knew. But, you know, it was sort of like something that they alluded to, whereas now they were able to be out in front with their love in WWE, where they met, and hold titles together. Like, that is special.
They're why I'm never settle. They are, seriously, like, I see their love. I'm like, that's it. That's the blueprint. Like, I deserve what they have, and I won't. They're amazing. I love them. Just why I won't stop. I won't settle. I won't be desperate. because
Yeah.
he's like he showed me what a man is supposed to look like. He showed me what love is supposed to look like. And yeah, I love that for them so much. And they give me hope. They really do.
Hmm. And you deserve to have that hope. Everybody has, deserves to have that hope for the best kind of love that fits them and, to a T. So you'll have it. And I believe that. So in moving forward, and talking about more things that we love about Elimination Chamber,
Oh Lord have mercy.
Randy Orton
Mhm.
won for the men. And that was just, and I was not expecting that at all.
What? Girl.
I no shade, because I love Randy Orton down, and I love Randy Orton, like, seriously, but I did not peg him to win the Elimination Chamber match. I did it. My prediction was Trick Williams, honestly.
Okay. Yeah.
My prediction was Trick Williams. I felt like Trick versus Drew McIntyre would have been an amazing match. So yeah, my pick was Trick Williams, but I wasn't mad that it was Randy, because he had been sort of wanting to go for another title for the longest time. So I wasn't upset about that at all. I wasn't. And then I was impressed with the last sequence of the match where Drew McIntyre decided to interfere and ruin Cody's chances. And then Randy winds up like hitting Drew McIntyre and then hitting an RKO on Cody Rhodes in order to win the match. And do you know how locked in you have to be to hit those moves in a succession of each other and then win the whole thing? Randy said, y'all gonna put respect on my name, dang it.
Okay.
That's what Randy said. He was like, y'all gonna put some respect on my name. And then
Right.
he won the match in front of his wife and one of his kids
Oh
too.
my God.
Because
I
they
love
were in the
that.
audience. They were in the pod right behind him.
Yes.
So I thought that was amazing too. That was a nice little touch. So Randy won the men's Elimination Chamber match. And I enjoyed both Elimination Chamber matches. I think the only thing I didn't like about the men's chamber was just the fact that Logan Paul was eliminating so many of our faves.
Can you?
Devastation. Pure devastation. When Logan Paul when he eliminated Trick and Javon and then LA, I was just like, bro, what type of voodoo hoodoo does this man have? I mean, of course, I'm sorry. Well, he's white. He shouldn't have that. I'm sorry. That was crazy. But what type of juju, there we go, does he have to where he could just be eliminating our faves like this? Like, I was just so upset. But then the best part about it was when Trick, Javon, and Cody jumped him.
Yes.
That was so funny for me. I was just like, this is very satisfying. But I was just so upset.
Part of all was what came after all that.
Oh yes. We gotta talk about Seth.
Yes.
Ruining the chance for Logan.
Oh,
now I was joking.
God.
I was joking every week and saying that I felt like the masked man was Shawn Michaels because I just felt like a Shawn Michaels return one more time would have just healed me, because I'll eternally love Shawn Michaels. I'm sorry, but that was just a joke. I know it wasn't Shawn Michaels. I know he hasn't been active in the ring. I know this. I know he works out at NXT, but that was just a joke I would make. I was like, the masked man is Shawn Michaels, and that just would have been fun. But no, it was Seth Rollins, and he revealed himself, and then Paul Heyman was shook as all get out. But yeah, Seth Rollins attacked them and stopped Logan Paul from winning, and he was eliminated by Cody Rhodes. And I was so happy that this happened, and everybody in the arena was screaming their heads off for him. And yeah, Seth Rollins is back. He's healed, and it'll probably be a minute before we see him on ESPN talking about football again. But he's back, and I was very pumped about this.
Same. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That reminds me of when the Undertaker lost a streak.
Oh God. Help.
I said, Seth, thank you for your service. You did the Lord's work.
Oh, he
Oh,
really did.
oh my
Cause
god, I was getting so much. After the third, I was starting to lose all hope,
me
and then
too.
that happened, and then I started to breathe again.
Breathe again. Breathe
Yes.
again.
Have you seen the
Yes.
Lifetime show, the Lifetime movie?
I have not.
It's a
We're
movie.
not we're not gonna get into it here, but I do love Toni Braxton. She's an icon.
Yeah.
But yes, I was very pumped about this. But then we also have to get into the Drew McIntyre of it all because he has been ruining opportunities for Cody Rhodes and for Jacob Fatu left and right. And it's assumed that he also attacked Jay Uso, even though a lot of people still think it was division.
Mm.
But here again, this is another situation where we might see somebody come out of their suit and out of their professional bag because you have Nick Aldis, who was very upset at what Drew McIntyre did in order to interfere in that match. And so during the post show, he got it. Drew McIntyre got in his face after Nick Aldis announced that he would be defending his undisputed WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes at SmackDown tomorrow, which adds another wrinkle to things because, of course, Randy won the Elimination Chamber. So whoever wins that match tomorrow night goes to WrestleMania. But the thing is, I wanted Nick Aldis to announce that he wanted to face off against Drew so bad.
I
I
thought,
wanted Nick Aldis to say, look, since
yeah,
you're not going to get it through your thick skull what these rules are, I'm going to fight you. Because here again, Nick Aldis has a great wrestling resume before he was a general manager in WWE. This man
this
was the
man,
longest, yes, Nick Aldis was the longest reigning, I believe, as it stands now, if not one of the longest reigning NWA World Heavyweight Champions. He had a faction known as Strictly Business with Camille and her husband Thomas Latimer, in NWA as well. And of course, we know he's the husband of Mickey James.
that
So,
really shocks me.
so in the midst of this, it's just like seeing him transition over to being a suit, as a SmackDown general manager has been cool because he just has that cool factor. But there's always that part of me that just wonders if he's going to wrestle at some point. But with the way he keeps getting in Drew McIntyre's face,
Mm.
could we see Nick Aldis versus Drew McIntyre WrestleMania? I would love it. I would love it. Could this be the WrestleMania we are seeing people come out of their suits and their stripes to let people know what the F is going on?
I would love that.
Me
I really
too.
would. Oh my gosh! Now, wow, how wow, he looked wow.
Yeah, he snatched that
Seeing
jacket off
him,
and his muscles were just like bulging out of his dress shirt. And I'm just like, this man can still go.
I
I
want to see.
really feel like he could still go.
I want to see what he's all about. Just like just like Jessica Carr and Becky Lynch. I would,
Mm-hmm.
and they're both. I mean, obviously they're both women, and obviously they're both,
Yes.
and they both. I was about to say they're both immigrants, so that's special. Aren't they both?
Oh yeah.
Aren't they both from aren't they European?
Yes, Becky, Drew, and Nick are all European.
I would love that.
Yeah, of
Amazing.
course, being from different parts of Europe, yes, because of course, Drew is Scottish, Becky is Irish, and Nick Aldis, I'm not sure what part of Europe he's from. It might be the UK. I'm not entirely sure. Charges to my head, but not to my heart. But either way, they're all European, and that's awesome. So, yeah,
Knowing that Nick Aldis also used to wrestle, wow, that makes me like
yeah.
different light now. I want to see his
Mhm.
wrestling. I want to see his old wrestling clips now. See what
Oh
he's all
yeah,
about.
please. Yeah, look it up because Mr. Man, yeah, he kind of has some stuff going on. Stephen Brown on YouTube saying, "Great pod, love what you're talking about." Thank you so much for that. Thank you
Wow.
for that great compliment. Thank you. So yeah, I'm just really interested to see where this goes. Everyone is getting heated. That's just the general consensus of this episode and of wrestling as a whole. Everybody is heated and angry at each other. So yeah, Seth is back, but now we're going to move into Raw. the Raw after Elimination Chamber. And before we talk about Natty, I just want to hold space for Jackie Redmond.
Oh,
Um, this woman, I love her. I love her. She's so talented and she's so beautiful, and she's just really great.
yes.
And this outfit was fire. And I know she looks distressed in this photo because what Natty was saying about Maxine Dupree was very distressing. But I just wanted to hold space for Jackie Redmond because I'm such a fan of hers. And she's just so cool. And when it comes to broadcasting, like, she's just one of my go-tos that I am inspired by to a degree, along with so many others.
And her interviewing style. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
The way she holds an interview. Oh my gosh. Did you see her interview with Cody Rhodes at John Cena's final match?
I did. Oh my God. Yeah, she holds space for humanity, and I love that. Like, as an interviewer, like, she holds space for humanity within the sports. And I know there are a lot of people who do that, and there are some people who don't do that, but the way she does it in wrestling is just so wonderful. Like, that interview she had with Cody was great. It was heartfelt, and the way she conducted it was superb. It was absolutely superb. Yeah. Love her. But we love Natty too, but in this promo, which aired during the commercial break of Netflix, because in the United States, we have ads. She cuts a promo essentially calling Maxine a bimbo, and she said that she tried to turn a bimbo into a killer, but now they're trying to turn this killer into a bimbo. And I was just like, Natty, the disrespect! Like, she is just not playing with us this go round. So I think at this point, after she knocked out Maxine in her last match, I feel like they might either have a no holds barred match or maybe even a submission match or something like that. But either way, I just, I need Natty is crazy. That's all I can say. I feel like Natty, like, I'm glad we're getting this version of Natty, but she is unhinged, hon.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I mean, it's a little too scary. Just a tad scary.
Steven is saying he wants a street fight. Oh God.
And no sticks and everything and trash cans.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Actually, ironically enough, not on Netflix, but NXT Vengeance Day this weekend, Blake Monroe and Jada Parker will be in a street fight. So there is that part, but I don't know. I just feel like with the Natty being in a submission match against Maxine or a no holds barred match with Maxine just fits into the narrative of her being a trained wrestler and her training Maxine and just taking it back to the basics. So that's why I said that from a nerdy perspective in that way. But yeah, it's getting really intense, but it wouldn't just stay intense with Natty. That intensity and that low vibration would continue throughout the rest of the night. As we saw, well, AJ, this wasn't low vibrational. This was great. She cut her promo and essentially said that the fans, pushed her to believe in herself, to become a champion again, and she is taking on all comers to challenge her for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Not saying that it's really an open challenge like we've seen over the past couple of months, but she's just really open to anyone who wants to face her for the title, which led to Adam Pearce announcing on Raw that there will be a number one contenders gauntlet match starting on next Monday for the contendership for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, involving Lyra Valkyria, Bayley, Io Sky, Raquel Rodriguez, who we mentioned earlier as the MVP of the Elimination Chamber match, Asuka, and Ivy Nile. This is amazing, especially with the backstage segment that Lyra and Bayley had, where Lyra was encouraging Bayley to go for an opportunity and talk about being in line for the IC title. This was really great. I think at this point, I want Bayley to challenge. I want Bayley to win this match and become number one contender to face off against AJ, because that's low-key a dream match right there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when you think about women's wrestling dream matches, It doesn't get any better than Bailey versus AJ.
And AJ
I
even said
just,
it.
huh?
And AJ even said it.
Yeah. So I
I
hope that happens that way.
Me too. I thought Bailey would come out as soon as she opened the challenge, or yeah, issued the challenge. I was
Yeah.
expecting either her or Roxanne to come out.
Yeah, Roxanne is recovering from a health issue, and I would have loved it if it was Roxanne because Roxanne is essentially like AJ's daughter,
Exactly.
adopted child. So I feel like that would be cool too. But I also feel like it would be cool if Raquel got it as well, after the performance that she gave. But I'm definitely manifesting Bailey.
Me too.
Bailey. It has to be Bailey for me. It's got to be Bailey. Steven is saying that he wants Bailey or Raquel in his opinion, and that's a very valid opinion. That's my two. So we'll see what happens next Monday, but I am pushing for Bailey Boo. It has to be Bailey Boo. It has to be.
All right, sorry.
Ooh. Ah.
Yeah, I will
Ooh. Would you be my girl? Yes. I love it. Gotta sing. So, and also talking about the women, we did get a promo from backstage of Liv Morgan giving the reasons why she chose Stephanie Vaquer to face off against at WrestleMania. She was backstage and she talked about how Stephanie tried to break her down and make her, feel like she was less than nothing because of, her background. But then she doubled down, which is something that I cannot stand when people do. She doubled down on the privilege. She
Oh my
said, the
god.
truth is, I am privileged.
Yeah.
I got into WWE on my first tryout, whereas you, Stephanie, got rejected on your first tryout. And they knew that I was a star then. And, she was saying that Stephanie was too hung up on her past. She was like, she was like, look, you can't seem to stop talking about your past. Whereas I've done all of these things and done all these things because I'm a star and I'm the greatest, Royal Rumble winner ever, all the stuff. And the thing that I got from this, outside of her saying that the biggest privilege that Stephanie gets is the fact that she gets to face, someone as decorated as her, the Liv Morgan at WrestleMania. I was so disappointed in this because I was just like, here again, like I mentioned in the previous episode, she's using her bravado to get herself amped for this match as if that's going to be enough. And she's using her privilege as if that's going to be enough. And that frustrates me because something that the truth that I'm realizing the older that I get, because stories like this make you think of real life. It's just when you are privileged, you're not as hungry.
No.
You are not as hungry to prove yourself and not as hungry to show everyone who you are when you are privileged because everything was handed to you. You had it easy.
Yeah.
And Liv even went as far as to making fun of the what she called the flea bitten rings that Stephanie had to fight in. And I'm just like, you're saying that as if rejection and having to wrestle in the least of places is the very worst thing. Right. You're saying that as if, and not to get religious or anything, because I'm a woman of faith, as if Jesus himself was not born in a manger, in a farm, essentially, in Bethlehem. He is the King of Kings to me. I'm sorry. He's the king, not I'm sorry, but he was the King of Kings and he was born in a manger. You're saying that as if the very best people cannot come from the smallest of beginnings. It's just like Andre 3000 said, great things start in little rooms. And Stephanie's career, for all intents and purposes, and I'm not just saying this because I love the woman, I'm saying this because it's true. Yeah. Her career, she got it out the mud, and there's a different grit that you have and a different hunger that you have when you got it out the mud. And that's not to say that Liv has not struggled, because she has had her struggle, but it has not been on the same level of struggle as a Stephanie Vaquer. And the other way in which I also put it is that Liv might have trained and made all these accomplishments, but my thing is, could she go and wrestle in Japan? And this isn't to be mean, but could she go and wrestle in Japan the way that Stephanie did? Could she go and wrestle in CMLL the way that Stephanie did before she got to WWE? I don't
Why
think
not?
so.
Oh, well, I mean,
I don't think she can. I mean, because I mean, and that's not to say that she doesn't have the ability, because she could build up the ability, but it just takes a special kind of person and a special kind of, you know, toughness to go through all of that and then come to WWE and come back and even have the courage to try again. Because most people, when they get rejected, they just don't want to do it anymore. And then they'll, you know, tuck their tail between their legs and then just be like, oh, well, I don't want to do this anymore. This hurt me too bad. I
yeah,
know this because I deal with rejection quite a lot and it hurts. But at the same time, you have to know how to keep going. And that's what Stephanie has done. And with that in mind, Liv has her bravado, and yeah, she has the idea that she made it and had the best doctors and had the best of everything, but having the best of everything will only take you so far.
yeah.
And I think we're really about to find out, you know, once WrestleMania gets started. So, um yeah, Bianca, what do
And
you have to say? I know I said a lot, but
y-
but I'm just really passionate about this storyline,
yeah,
as you can
and
hear.
and
So yeah.
you covered it all about, yeah, when she talked about like her privilege and talking down on Stephanie. Like it reminds me of where I came, like reminds me of my, like, where I came from, like my humble beginnings. And in Andre 3000's quote, "Great things start in small rooms," because they do. We need to start somewhere. It's like saying, when someone says, "Oh, your car is so ugly," but it's a car is a car, a home is a home, a job is 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 a job. Some people need, no matter, I hate it when people talk down on someone just because they are not on their level, and
Mhm.
just making someone feel bad, trying to make someone feel bad because of where they came from and not having the same abilities as you. Like, why do people? I hate it when people do that. And I understand that this is a promo once for a match, and it was written, if you will, but like out. But when people like talk down on someone, regard in their situation, like people need to like look inwards, and it's like trying, and like, yeah, making trying to make themselves feel better. Exactly. Like, it's, people need to have more soul. People need to have more of a heart, because like people, I mean, like, we're not here for a long time. We're only here for a certain amount of time. Just be, have a heart. I understand that people, like, we didn't ask to be here. People, like, we're not on like the same wave wavelength. Wait, we're all on different journeys in life, and some make it quicker than others. Some make it later in life than others.
Mhm.
Just, I don't know, just some of my thoughts about, yeah, just some of my thoughts.
Yeah, all of that is 100% valid. Like, people's journeys are very different. And yeah, like, live the character is like, ma'am, like, you're doubling down on the idea that you were privileged. But then, you know, and there was a lot that even she had to go through with watching the women that she came up with, you know, leave, and hers essentially being left on her own, like, because the riot squad was gone. And, you know, there's levels to it, but at the same time, ma'am, you know, you have to also count yourself, for the grace of God, go I, because at one point she had, a couple of things that didn't stick as well when it came to her character, but now it's sticking and everything's cool. But my thing is, don't get it twisted, because all of it can be snatched away just like that. And Stephanie is fierce enough and she's tough enough to snatch it all away and leave you with a devil's kiss afterward. Like, don't underestimate her just because, you did come from privilege. Yeah, you did start at the top, but what would you do if you had to go back to the bottom?
Yeah.
So, yeah, this feud has really got some good stuff cooking with it. So I'm happy. I'm happy with the match. I said that before, but I'm really happy about the story because it's really touching on some real stuff.
Oh yeah, that's what I love about WWE. The real stitch when they touch on like real life, make it seem so they don't make it so that's not script, so that doesn't feel scripted or choreographed, if you will. Like I love it when people like talk about their real life and letting us in on like the human behind the character. That's why I watch. That's part of why I love wrestling and why I watch wrestling. The real life aspect.
Because within this sport, it reflects the story of life.
Yeah,
it's real. It's very real. Don't let nobody tell y'all it's fake. Anyway, okay. So in moving on with the women, we do have to talk about Rio rather. They went their separate ways. And this made me so sad. Well, actually, no. Them losing the tag team titles made me so sad that I bought their t-shirt because I was just like, I don't know how long this t-shirt is going to be here. So now that they've lost the tag titles, now mind you, I'm happy that Lash Legend finally got the tag titles with Nia Jax. I'm very, very happy for her. But when Rhea and Io lost, and then right after Rhea won the Elimination Chamber, I was like, yeah, let me hurry up and get this t-shirt before I never see it again. And I got it. But seeing them go their separate ways in such a loving way was one of the sweetest things about Raw, even though now, of course, Rhea is going to shift her focus and Io was being supportive of her, shifting her focus towards SmackDown and towards Jade Cargill for WrestleMania. Hearing Rhea tell Io, you got me through a really dark time it was very heartfelt and it was so sweet. And it just speaks to how much I love and value female friendships in real life, and also seeing it play out when it came to wrestling. And it's so often that you see partnerships like theirs, fall apart and be like, yeah, I was going to stab you in the back the whole time. I was just using you, blah, blah, blah. That didn't happen here. And it was very refreshing. For a change, these two were still looking at each other, loving each other, holding each other's faces, hugging each other. It was just so sweet, and it ended essentially the way that it began, because of course, if you remember at Evolution, they were bonding over the fact that they did battle with one another for that title, only for them to lose it to Naomi in the cash in. And after that, they ended Evolution hugging each other and celebrating the fact that they main evented Evolution. So to see that friendship blossom the way that it has, and to see them even win the tag titles and fight off Damage Control and all of the things to now was just, it was very heartfelt, and I'm sad to see that friendship go, but it was nice to see Io be supportive of Rhea going for that thing.
Managed to turn on site. That would have been so upsetting.
Mm-hmm. It was lovely.
It was
lovely. And then, of course, watching Rhea shift focus and be like, yeah, it's time for me to, go to SmackDown and talk to Jade. So we're going to see what happens with that tomorrow. Vaughn, thank you for watching on Facebook. He's saying Io was Rhea's shoulder to cry on after running too creative. Look, I'm not going to get into that. We already talked about that, Vaughn, but whatever. I really feel like I don't know. I just really feel like this friendship was just really nice. And however their paths may cross again, I just hope that it's all sweet and nice. But if they ever did fight one on one again, it would be magic because, it was awesome. So big ups to Rio. Long live Rio. We love it.
Rio.
Yes, I just had to share this picture from Evolution of them hugging because it was just so wonderful. And my heart is still in Atlanta. It's still in Atlanta. That was in July of last year. We are in March. My heart is still in Atlanta. At least it's with my cousins, but whatever. Shout out to my cousins who live in Georgia. I love y'all. So yeah. And now we move to the men of Raw. Danhausen runs into the Judgment Day. And Dirty Dominic was preparing for his Intercontinental Championship match against Penta. And and Danhausen introduces himself to all of the Judgment Day. He makes fun of JD McDonough because, of course, everybody has to make fun of JD McDonough. And then he gets to Dirty Dom, and Dom wants to insult him. So he was like, okay, well, since you want to insult me, you're cursed. And at first, they didn't take it seriously. But look what happened. Everybody who said that the curse thing wasn't going to work in WWE, eat your words right now, because that's essentially what happened. Danhausen cursed Dirty Dom, and he lost one of his titles to Penta, who he's essentially been in a rivalry with quietly and not quietly since last January. They've been fighting since Royal Rumble of last year. I kid you not. Oh my god. These two were going back and forth with each other at the Royal Rumble media junket. Last year. It was nuts. So these two have literally been at each other's throats since then. So to see Penta finally win the Intercontinental Championship was just so amazing. He's so talented and I love him down. So this was great. And yeah, Danhausen cursed Dirty Dom. And with him being cursed, it could be assumed that he's going to lose the AAA Mega Championship at some point. He's going to lose that too. Because
oh my god,
he's going to lose that too. But do not disrespect the Danhausen.
I like that. I like this kid. He's funny.
He cursed him, and it worked. Hello.
I was very happy with someone. No, yeah, I was just really happy when Penta won.
Yeah.
Like, and knowing that it was his first championship title, like it took this long. Wow, he deserves it. I'm really happy he won. But how the whole thing played out was just very comedic, and like I enjoyed it. Yeah, you can't take them seriously. I like that. It's hilarious. I think she froze again. Oh my gosh, she froze again. Ooh! We have a frozen frame. I hope she comes back. But if you guys are still joining us, this is the Hardy this is the Hardy this is the Hardy Wrestling Podcast with your host Stephanie Hardy, and I'm your co-host Bianca Addison. We have been talking about what has been going on in the world of wrestling this past week, and we have been talking about what has been happening on Monday Night Raw. We talked about and everything that happened on Survivor Series. Not Survivor Series. Oh my gosh. Well, although Survivor Series was amazing, we were talking about what happened at Elimination Chamber in Chicago, and that was a wild day, and I loved every second of it. But yeah, Danhausen, he's really funny. Can't wait to see what happens with the Judgment Day and how they implode. With Dominic losing his Intercontinental Champion, We'll see what happens with the Judgment Day. Yeah, I really like Dan. Is it Danhausen? Danhausen. I didn't know who he was. Oh, this. Hello. Hi.
Yeah, it's okay. This is why you always have two cell phones. Anyway, sorry y'all.
We're back.
Yeah, we're back. So this also teaches the lesson that you gotta words have power, guys.
Yeah.
So you gotta just chill when it comes to dealing with people saying things, and then you just have to, and you also have to realize that when people speak things over you, it can be really good or really bad depending on what type of energy you have. And considering Dominic has negative energy, look, he got cursed, and now he has one less title. So Danhausen is life, Danhausen is love. Thousands, it's great. So
You get used to it.
But the most important thing is Penta is Intercontinental Champion, and we have two amazing Hispanic people as Intercontinental Champions, AJ Lee and Penta.
Yay!
Yes, we love it. And also, speaking of amazing people, let's talk about Oba Femi beating on Rusev in dress shoes. You talk about walking down your enemies, which is the name of this episode. Baby, he walked Rusev all the way down. And Rusev came out there with thunder and lightning and like talking about how he was going to fight, Oba, and act like he wasn't afraid of him and everything. Oba came out there dressed up in jeans, his ruler shirt, and some brown dress shoes, and beat the crap out of him. And then when it looked like Rusev got the better of him, he only got back up and slammed him down and threw him out of the ring and snatched his shirt off. This is Oba Femi's world, and we're just living in it.
He big.
He is very big. The final boss of Black Men did not come to play with you. He does not come to play. He comes to slay.
Yes!
And he comes to slay his enemies and be the ruler.
Yeah.
And he is doing this from show to show.
Yes.
From show to show, Monday and Friday, handing out all kinds of butt whoopings. So, Bianca, let me ask you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Who do you think Oba is going to have his first big face-off with when he finally decides what show he's going to sign with?
If it's not Rusev?
Well, of course, Rusev is actually, you know what? I'm glad you said that because I just got reminded because my brain just had a blast. Yeah, he is fighting Rusev. So it looks like Rusev really is like his big rivalry. And we talked about people who we would want him to go up against, and Rusev was one of them. And Sheamus, huh?
And Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, him too.
That too. And Sheamus too. Oh, wow.
Yeah, just all the big beefy people. Yes, the big meaty men slapping meat argument falls under Oba Femi versus anybody. I know everyone online is definitely pushing for him to fight Pumpkinhead, but we'll see how that goes.
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah. But I'll just watch Oba Femi fight anyone or do anything, honestly. Because that is a man. I know he's younger than me, but that's still a man.
Same. Oh my God. Well, moving on.
That is a real man right there. But we're going to get more into real men later. But we got to get into the hatred that we got. Look, we got to get into the hatred that spilled from Roman Reigns and World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk on Monday. Baby. These two were cussing each other out. And it's so funny because their first promo that they had against each other after Roman initially won the Royal Rumble was already fire enough. But this one was nuts.
Oh my God.
Absolutely nuts. Roman had the audacity to show up in a coat and essentially insult CM Punk and basically say that the only reason they brought him back to WWE was to like make money in Chicago, like make like put your numbers up in merch and all that other stuff from a business perspective, but essentially saying that nobody really cares about him and saying that look, during WrestleMania, maybe I'll put you on a retirement tour like John Cena went. Like Roman was full on disrespectful here in his half of the promo. It was so funny because people online were even saying they feel like Roman essentially cooked CM Punk, and I feel like people just say that just to be contrarian. I feel like people really just say that just to be different because, mind you, I will give Roman Reigns his credit because a few like years ago, the
Yeah.
Roman Reigns that stood toe to toe with John Cena would not have been able to do this.
Yeah.
So, and I'm talking about big dog Roman Reigns, not this version of Roman Reigns. So this version of Roman Reigns has definitely grown, and he's holding his own against CM Punk, who is just a master on the mic, like for real. So CM Punk gets upset at him, and he says, "Look, you're not finished. Like you're not leaving the ring until I say you can leave this ring because this is my show. I'm the champion." And he basically told him, "Look, you ran away all your cousins. I mean, yeah, they're hanging out with me." And then it was so funny because Roman was making it seem like his cousins were coming back and telling him how CM Punk be complaining about everything and how he's fake at everything. But CM Punk essentially told him, like, your cousins left you because of you. And you're all alone now. You don't even have a wise man anymore because I took him, which is so funny and so ironic now because Seth took that wise man and what is he doing with him now? Like, what the heck? It's amazing what can happen in a year. But yeah, CM Punk took his wise man. And then he said, once I beat you at WrestleMania, since you're trying to retire me, I'm going to bury you. And then once I bury you, you won't be alone.
Why?
Because you'll be right there next to your father. Baby. When I tell you after he said that, I got up out of the chair and walked away. I walked to a whole nother room after he said that.
The gasp that left my soul. What did he say?
Girl. This promo let me know right then and there we're doing an episode this week because how in the world do you expect me to move on from that? That was nuts. And then he dropped the microphone and left the ring, and his music got started, and Roman was gagged.
Mm-hmm.
He was staring at him like, I know he didn't just say that to me. I know he didn't just say that to me. And it's so funny. Everybody's reactions to it Monday night had me in tears of laughter. Like, lovely. Shout out to Wrestle Auntie.
Yay.
She said that she would have had to have shot Punk. She was like, I would have had to shoot Phil because you ain't finna talk about my daddy. and I was so weak because it's so true because that's just the one thing you don't do. You don't do that. You don't talk about a person's parents. You just don't do that. You don't do that. And you definitely don't do that when the person's parents is gone. But Bianca, I feel like you're about to say something that I'll probably add to. So you go ahead. You go ahead and say it, and then I'll jump in.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yes, he went low. Yes, he talked about a parent. However, I won't lie and say, oh my God, I hated it. Oh my God, he shouldn't have said it because I honestly, I loved it very much. And when he The only reason why it didn't bother me so much when he said that about his father is, I don't know, maybe because like Mines isn't in my life and he's not a good man at all. So
Mm.
and so maybe that's why like I didn't take it. I didn't like I enjoyed it, but like if you talk about my mama, that's it. So don't talk about my mama. Don't talk about my mother at all. You will get checked on site. But my sperm donor, yeah, go take by him. I don't care. He can die all I want. He can be dead. And I will be very. I wouldn't care. Anyway, that's too before I get too dark. Anyway, yeah, that the I me and you were talking after you you tweeted at me and I said this man has such a way with words. When I said that, I mean when I say that because anytime he talks, it's real and it's raw and it always comes from the heart. No matter
Mhm.
it's no matter where he is, he's always real. Any promo he cuts is comes from the heart and so poetic. I always say he's a man of poetry. So, and I can't wait to hear his poetry recitals. I call his promos poetry recitals. It's just so poetic. And
I I just don't even like when you tweeted that at me and said, "Oh, he has such a way with words." I was like, "A way with words, girl? What the heck? Like, what do you mean a way with words? He just talked about this man's dad. He said he was gonna bury him next to his dad. That's not a way with words. That's war. That is war. Because I swear to God." But what's so funny is I was talking to my dad about this all throughout WrestleMania 40 season. All Roman Reigns did was talk about Dusty Rhodes.
that's true.
He used to run down Cody's daddy like nobody's business. And he would even bring him up during WrestleMania 39 season and how Dusty essentially helped train him in NXT and all of the things. And what's so funny is that the thing that the Samoan dynasty has is like they live under a different set of rules than everybody else, and that's kind of what it gives off. It's just like, oh, we can talk about your family, but talk about our family, and it's
Yeah.
like we're ready to just go like throw blows, and that's ridiculous. Because my thing is, it's like, no, his turnabout is fair play for real. Because all of the moments Roman Reigns called Cody Rhodes' dad a loser and that he'll never amount to anything, just like your dad, I mean, that's karma, bro.
Yeah.
It's really like big karma because you can't be sitting up here talking about folks past people's parents who have passed on and then expect that to not come back and bite you in the behind in
Yeah.
that sort of way. And both of my parents are in my life and both of them are very much above ground, thank God.
Bless you.
But if you say anything bad about either one of my parents, I will destroy you. And mind you, I don't fight, but I will find whatever strength I have to either fight you verbally or physically because you are not going to talk about my parents. You will not talk about Mr. and Mrs. Hardy. You don't get to do that. No, you don't get to do that in this life or the next. Like, I will run you down. I will mow you down about my parents. My parents will mow you down about me and my sister. And it just goes both ways, okay?
Yeah.
So we're very serious. So in any other circumstance, that's how it would go. But because it's CM Punk and because this is wrestling, its turnabout is fair play because all Roman does is get hella disrespectful about everybody else. So it's about time somebody get hella disrespectful to him.
Can I just say something? What?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Remember that episode of Raw when Roman Reigns was gifted the Ula Fala by those two Samoan men?
Yeah, that was his dad and his
No,
uncle.
okay. Before I found out, y- y- I thought those, I thought it was just, you know, how WWE does, like, they bring in anyone, they bring in people to pretend, oh, they're like actual tribal chiefs that gifted him that Ula Fala. I thought those were like employees that they hired somewhere.
Oh well,
I
no.
I did not know. Like, I found out the day he died that that was actually his father. And I feel so stupid.
No, I
Hey,
mean,
that was
don't
his
feel. I
dad.
mean,
And the guy next to him was. I didn't know. I know now. I laugh about it every day. And it was just so ridiculous. I didn't know. It's so funny. Oh my gosh.
yeah, like no, yeah, no, they are. They were the Wild Samoans, and they are Hall of Famers, I do believe, and they were, a very famous tag team. And they also trained a lot of wrestlers too, so in their later years. So they're definitely they're definitely important to the lore of the Anoa'i family. And yeah. And because they were twin brothers, it was like when they both passed, it was like one of them passed and then maybe a few months later the other one did. So, and that was just really tough. And then at WrestleMania last year, what was so poignant about Roman's entrance was the fact that you had all of the generations of the Anoa'i family in the cards that
Yeah.
were a part of the staging. And as Roman was, I didn't see this because, of course, I was live and wasn't looking at it on the TV. But when I went back and watched the entrance back, and you saw like the picture of his dad right behind him, that was very like chilling. It was very chilling and also very heartfelt at the same time because that's just very real.
Yeah.
Like it's very real for Roman in that way. And I felt for him because I'm just like, man, like losing a parent is not, it's just not easy. And my heart is with him when it comes to that. And then also my heart is even doubly with him because of the nature of the business that he's in, it can get brought up in any way, shape, or form, and it's just like, oh my god, like it just makes me wonder if that has to sting for people in wrestling to have to hear their family member being brought up in that way. But of course, there's probably talks about it.
Yeah.
There's probably talks about it. I'm saying probably because I don't know for sure. But, it's just I can imagine from a human perspective that has to be really hard. But yeah, CM Punk took it to hell.
Can I can I another thing that got my attention in the promo. Now, this is aimed at, and I'm talking directly to Roman Reigns right now. Now, what do you have with 30-year-old virgins, Joe? What's the thing you got with us, like living our lives with no kids, Joe? You want to talk about? You mad because we're living our lives, Joe?
Oh,
Come on.
now that
Out
was a
here,
wild
like,
part of that promo. That was wild. That was wild. He said they brought CM Punk back to satisfy the 30 and 40-year-olds who still live with their parents.
what's wrong with them? What's wrong with the 30-year-olds living there with our moms, Joe? Come on now. You
I,
mad?
I was like, look, man, everybody ain't got it like you, mister.
Right.
I can put out a t-shirt every other week and then it'll sell out and he'll make his money and leave. Okay, everybody ain't got it like that, Roman. Okay, but that was a very savage line. That was very savage in speaking to that part of the wrestling fandom for sure. I was just like, my god, they are going for the jugular. They really are going for the jugular here.
You mad because we're not out here creating multiple kids, Joe?
Look, man, he's married, so I mean, hey, it's whatever. Do what you want to do, but that promo as a whole was just highly disrespectful and nuts. But it's WrestleMania season. It's no holds barred.
Yeah.
So as we move into the final part of the show where we talk about NXT, I do want to give a shout out to Nikita Lyons. She had a women's speed tournament match against Ren Sinclair. And she is someone who I think is really like kicking butt and getting way much better in ring. Not to say that she was ever really that bad, but I'm just saying like you can see the improvements there. And for her to battle back from her knee injuries that she sustained and, you know, not give up on her career has just been really cool. Plus, she's a friend of the pod. Her mom actually, you know, supports the pod as well. So, and I was actually happy to have met her at the first Wale Mania I ever went to in LA too. So, me and Nikita have a little bit of a bond and stuff. So, you know, it's just so, you know, seeing her succeed and fight in the match the way that she did was really cool, even though she did wind up losing and she's not moving forward in the speed tournament. I do hope for more greater things for her because I've been waiting for her to sort of just pop out and have like a bigger moment for a while now. So, and yeah, I want great things for Big Cat Kita. So, and of course this is her in a picture with Robert Stone. But what did you say, Bianca?
I wish that match was longer.
Yeah, but you know, it's the speed tournament, so it's gonna be 3 minutes. The key is to win the match in 3 minutes. So I understand that, but you know, that's the object of the match. Yeah.
Love for attire. Nikita Lyons. I love the lioness. I really love it. She's I wish she won.
She really did. So I'm just wishing nothing but great things for her. Thank you, Nikita, for all your love. I appreciate it. So as we move forward in the episode of this episode of NXT, this is the NXT before Vengeance Day because Vengeance Day is Saturday. Kalani Jordan and Lola Vice's feud has reached a critical mass, and it's gotten to the point to where now Kalani decided to go train with none other than the two-time NXT Women's Champion and MMA wrestling badass Shayna Baszler. And this was a really cool segment to see because you could see that there was a clash of styles when it comes to these two. Because like I said, you know, when you think of Shayna, you think of how she had her MMA background and her grappling and things. But then you have Kalani Jordan, who is well-versed in wrestling, but mostly based in gymnastics. And she was arguing to Shayna that her gymnastics was going to work in the NXT Underground match. And I was like, now, Kalani girl, I love you down as the first lady of the Hayes administration. But this is NXT Underground where Lola Vice is undefeated. Like Lola Vice beat Shayna Baszler in the Underground. So you can't just waltz in there and just think you're going to do flips and stuff and win the match. Like it'll probably help a little bit, but in Underground, it's a whole different thing. So to see her sort of jumping rope and sort of, you know, acclimate to the MMA style was very interesting. And I can't wait to see how Kalani does it. But it was just so funny to see the clash between her and Shayna for sure.
Yeah, I was not expecting this, let alone seeing
me neither
at all.
But I love it.
Yeah, same. Yeah, this was when she like said, "Oh, I can do gymnastics. I can bring gymnastics in the ring," and she's like, "No, you can't!" And she just like attacked her, or in she it was just well produced promo or vignette, or is it vignette or promo?
I would say like this is more of a vignette or a montage, or a segment really. Okay. I would call this a segment because this was longer than, you know, a montage I would just flash up there and just leave in like a few seconds or something like that. This was a segment for real.
And it was really good seeing Shayna again. I know she's a producer or a writer for WWE. So it was great seeing her on camera again.
Right.
Doing something in front of the camera.
Yeah, I was happy to see her because, like, in the lore of NXT, she was that girl for a minute.
Yeah.
Like, it was a minute for her. I didn't think anybody was gonna beat Miss Ma'am, but but yeah, like, I love it when the generations of NXT, mix it up with the newer ones. It's really cool. This was amazing. I like this segment a lot, and I hope that First Lady Lonnie, can adapt to the underground well, because if not, then Lola will continue her undefeated streak there. So yeah, it was cool. And then as we move forward, we move into the next chapter in the rivalry of Sol Ruka and Zarya. So Zarya main evented NXT this week, I think. I think this was the main event match. Yeah, this was the main event match. And she fought against JC Jane for the NXT Women's title because she felt like that opportunity should have been hers and not Sol's. But in the midst of everything, Sol comes out there and she yells Zarya's name. And she comes out there with her cute jersey on that has Sol Ruka like on like the front and the back of it. And it looks like a soccer jersey, but then she runs out there and gives a soul snatcher, a double soul snatcher to both JC and Zarya. And in response to Zarya last week telling Sol, snatch that soul, bitch, Sol grabs her forehead and kisses her after that soul snatcher and says, I just snatched your soul, bitch, and then kissed her. And held up the NXT Women's title afterward. And I just said yes. 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 This is the game I love. This is the game I love, ladies and gentlemen. Sol Ruka did not stay away. She did not cower. She absolutely shined here with that double soul snatcher and said, look, I will take the title off of JC and keep you from getting it since you want to be jealous. So I was here for it.
11 superstars finally like get in their element and turn that switch and be who they are and not too nice anymore and have that character development that she's trying to unleash, that they try to unleash, so yeah, it's great to see. It is great. It's great to see.
It is, and I know a lot of people. There was a rumor out there online saying that Sol was going to have a different character, but I don't want her to change. I don't want them to change anything about Sol. She's perfect.
Yeah,
she is just so perfect. She. I just love her vibe.
Me too.
She's different. Like, it's just a different and unique persona for her to have. She's gorgeous. She's awesome. She doesn't need to change anything.
And I love that she's mixed.
Exactly. Like her being a Black woman just does it for me. I love her. And finding out that part of her was mind blowing, and it was amazing for me because I was like, oh, so you're a cousin. Okay. Yeah. Your cousin. Cousin? Okay. And I embraced her and loved her even more after that. I already thought she was cool. But finding out she was, mixed, I was like, okay, good, you're cousin from now on. Cousin from now on. I love you even more. So if she's next in line to be the NXT Women's Champion, and if she's going to be, because I've personally been on a quest of manifesting another Black NXT Women's Champion, because there has not been one since Athena/Ember Moon. There's only been two. There's only been Mercedes Moné and Athena. And if Sol Ruka is going to be the one to make that happen, I'm here for it. So, yeah. We're cooking with hot grease, babe. Cooking with hot grease with this one. I'm excited. Yeah, and then of course we have to talk about Ricky Saints and his absolute experience. Now, I love my Gambit. I love Ricky, but he cannot sing. he's not a singer. That's not his ministry. But I appreciate the effort of showmanship he had, because he had the guitar, which was really beautiful. Then on top of that, he had on this amazing leopard print suit that was silky, and I wanted it so bad. I was like, I literally have nowhere to wear this suit, but I want it bad. I want this suit so bad. He looked so great with his sunglasses and everything. And I really feel like the funniest part about all this was the fact that I think this was sort of his way of leaning into the comparisons that people have made to for him and The Rock.
Yes.
Like, people have been making comparisons between him and The Rock for years. And I feel like this was just a really clever way of leading into it without leaning all the way into it. And it was amazing for me. So this was hilarious. He almost started singing Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. And it was so funny. I was like, Ricky, you are a clown and a half. But I still want him to get his Emmy for his guest star role in Wild Cards. Give him the Emmy. Wild Cards is a CW show. It's like a police comedy drama. And he was a guest star on it a couple weeks ago, if not a week ago. And I want him to get the Emmy for it. I haven't even seen it all, but I just want him to get the Emmy. Because
he looks like someone who like would be in that type of show.
I'm just a goofball. Don't listen to me. But you know, I've been saying for years that I feel like WWE shows should be eligible for Emmys because I still feel like to this day the whole Bloodline saga during the pandemic should have been nominated for something.
Agreed.
Because of all the emotions that they were eliciting. But you know, I don't know how the Television Academy feels about stuff like that. But you know, I just feel like they should be in consideration because wrestling is on television. It's right there. So why isn't it not eligible? But whatever. Hollywood, I don't know. But you know, Ricky was hilarious here, and I loved his suit. And he got beat up by Joe Hendry afterward because he kept insulting him. But for what it's worth, Ricky looked good. And that's all that matters.
I didn't know he had that in him.
Yeah.
That goofy side.
Yeah, but let me just say here, I want to hold space for Keanu Carver. I didn't know what he said in this promo because quite frankly, I was busy looking at his chest. I heard nothing this man said to Booker, nothing he said about any wrestler he was supposed to be fighting, because he came out here and with his hair like that and the hat and his shirt was off and it was chocolate everywhere, and I heard nothing Keanu Carver said. Girl.
How are they real? Like, what is
This is how they make them in Washington, D.C.
Is that a do-rag?
No, that's a cap. That's just a regular, like, it looks like a regular winter cap.
No, things
it's not
down.
A do-rag.
No? Oh.
That's just his hair.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And I got to put him on the list of reasons why I love black men, because the way he was looking Tuesday night, I was like, hold on. All I did was turn around and look at the screen, and I saw him walk off with attitude. And I was like, look, Keanu. And
his name is Keanu. Oh my god.
That is a sexy man. I'm sorry. The woman in me jumped out. I heard nothing he said because all I saw was yeah. Bless it. This is another God was showing off moment.
Oh Lord. Oh my god. He's a little brother though.
Huh?
He's a little brother.
Yes, I know, but you know the
how are these? Am I getting? I shouldn't feel old. Should I feel old? Why do I feel old?
I don't know, but I just wanted to hold space for this one part because I just wasn't focused. I was not locked in that moment. And when I turned around, all I saw was that, and I said, "Oh Lord, beauty." Yeah, and I know Keanu is a very tough wrestler. Like he is a force to be reckoned with. He is scary, but the body makes him less scary for me. For reasons. So sorry.
Don't be
Okay.
sorry, bro. I get it.
Wrestling is for the girls too. It's for the girls and the gays. Sorry. Oh, I know this is supposed to be serious to a degree, but babe, you just got to keep it real sometimes. But moving on, I just want to talk about how happy I am for Miles Bourne being the new North American champion and restoring the strap back to what it originally was before Ethan Page took it over and made it big Canada. I'm so happy. No shade against Canada because I love Canada, but you know, I'm happy Miles Bourne won, and literally, like it's so cute because in talking about the CM Punk and AJ Lee of things, him and Stephanie HWP are a couple, and they both have gold, and that's amazing. So
what?
Oh, you didn't know? Miles Bourne and Stephanie HWP are a couple. Yeah, they're dating. Because she posted about how proud she was of him, for working hard and winning this title. Yeah, they're a couple.
Since when?
Since like at least a months ago. The gag.
Wow.
Yeah. And they're so cute. I love it.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So they both have titles in their households, and I love it. And I just wanted to talk about how much I just loved him giving Ethan Page a taste of his own medicine in that match where they were fighting in suits. Here again, fighting in dress clothes like Obafemi. They literally fought in a rematch for the North American title, him and Ethan Page in suits, in dress shoes, and then they wound up beating each other with clothes. And I think while the referee was turned around, Miles Bourne took a page out of Ethan Page's book, no pun intended, and hit him across the head with a shoe and retained the title. So I love it. I'm glad Miles Bourne is a champion because he earned it. He earned it, from coming from the NQCC and, standing on his own and having and being, being a representative of the disabled community with him being, hard of hearing. It's just, awesome. I love this. I love this for him. So big ups to Miles Bourne. I love that he's the champion now.
I know how hard. I know all those promos when I know how hard he's fought for this moment, and yeah, like you said, I'm glad. And I didn't realize that he's a part of the disabled community. That makes me feel that warms my heart coming from someone who is neurodivergent and has some sort of not I don't want to say a disability, but on the spectrum, someone who's different.
Yeah.
The representation. And that's why it matters, and that's why it's so important. I love that.
Yeah, I love it too. And to see him be a champion now, everyone who is like him can feel that, they can conquer anything. So that's great. And of course, now we've reached the end of our time together. Before we go, I do have to announce that I will be on color commentary for Retinal Pro Wrestling next week at their event March of the Pigs here in Birmingham at Trim Tab Brewing. I'm so grateful for the opportunity, and I am such a big fan of all the wrestlers there. So I cannot wait to be on the call for it. So if you are in the Birmingham, Alabama area, and if you want to go see an indie wrestling show, support your local indie. please come out and show your support, buy tickets at Retinal Pro Wrestling, and just continue to support your indies. It's going to be great. And, if you want to come say hi, you can say hi to me too, because I love to meet new people and talk. So yeah, it's going to be really great. I'm really excited about it. I'm really pumped. Like I said, I love the owner, and I love the talent that we bring. So it's going to be a great show. So with that in mind, Bianca, thank you for joining me for this episode. And tell everybody where they can find and follow you and what you've got going on.
You can follow me. You can follow my personal pages on Instagram and Twitter at Bianca Addison. And you can follow my ring announcing journey. I'm on a quest to becoming a professional wrestling ring announcer, more specifically for the WWE. And you can follow I post my ring announcing videos and other content on Ebony Rose Ringside. That's EBONI Rose Ringside on Twitter and Instagram and on TikTok.
Yes. Absolutely. I love how we said yeah at the same time. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You can you can find and follow me, your girl Stephanie Hardy, on Instagram and Twitter at Queen Steph Hardy. You can follow the show, The Hardy Wrestling Podcast, on Instagram at Hardy Wrestling Podcast, and on Twitter at Hardy Wrestle Pod. That's HARDYWRESTLEPOD on Twitter. Because characters, it's whatever. And you can subscribe to the show on YouTube, which is The Hardy Wrestling Podcast, with the logo that's over there in the right-hand corner. Subscribe. And of course, anytime you see me sharing any clips, you can share those and repost those and copy the links or whatever and share the show with anybody who loves professional wrestling and wants to hear women talk about it. You can share it with them. And we'll always be here posting and talking about the latest stuff. There won't be an episode next week because I will be working on my show and getting stuff together for Retinal Pro, but we will be back the week after next. So be on the lookout for that. And there will be a new episode of Steph and Cat Talk Wow next week as well. So yeah, we've got stuff cooking, and it's slow cooking, but it's coming together. Of course, yes, it's coming together. Yes. It's gonna march this March. So thank you guys so much for watching The Hardy Wrestling Podcast with your girl Stephanie Hardy and Bianca Addison. And yeah, until next time. Don't laugh. Until next time. Bye, y'all.